Dark people jokes. What word starts with N and ends with R that you never want to call a black person? Neighbor. Money jokes. A guy named Joe finds himself in dire trouble. His business has gone bust and he's in serious financial trouble. He's so desperate he decides to ask God for help. He begins to pray. God, please help me. I've lost my business and if I don't get some money, I'm going to lose my house as well. Please let me win the lottery. Lottery night comes and somebody else wins it. Joe again prays. God, please let me win the lottery. I've lost my business, my house and I'm going to lose my car as well. Lotto night comes and Joe still has no luck. Once again, he prays. My God, why have you forsaken me? I've lost my business, my house, and my car. My wife and children are starving. I don't often ask you for help and I have always been a good servant to you. Please just let me win the lottery this one time so I can get my life back in order. Suddenly there is a blinding flash of light as the heavens open and Joe is confronted by the voice of God himself. Joe, meet me halfway on this. Buy a ticket. Sex jokes. As an airplane is about to crash, a female passenger jumps up frantically and announces, if I'm going to die, I want to die feeling like a woman. She removes all her clothing and asks, is there someone on this plane who is man enough to make me feel like a woman? A man stands up, removes his shirt and says, here, iron this. Kids jokes. A mother and father took their 6-year-old son to a nude beach. As the boy walked along the beach, he noticed that some of the ladies had boobs bigger than his mother's, and asked her why. She told her son, the bigger they are the dumber the person is. The boy, pleased with the answer, goes to play in the ocean but returns to tell his mother that many of the men have larger willies than his dad. His mother replied, the bigger they are the dumber the person is. Again. Satisfied with this answer, the boy returns to the ocean to play. Shortly after, the boy returned again. He promptly tells his mother, Daddy is talking to the dumbest girl on the beach and the longer he talks, the dumber he gets. Yo mama jokes. Yo mama's so ugly when she went to the bathroom, she scared the shit out of the toilet. Jokes about life. A successful businessman flew to Vegas for the weekend to gamble. He lost the shirt off his back, and had nothing left but a quarter and the second half of his round-trip ticket. All he needed to do was somehow get to the airport, and then he'd be home free. So he went out to the front of the casino where there was a cab waiting. He got in and explained his situation to the cabbie. He promised to send the driver money from home. He offered him his credit card numbers, his driver's license number, his address, etc. The cabbie said, if you don't have $15, get the hell out of my cab. So the businessman was forced to hitchhike to the airport and was barely in time to catch his flight. 1 year later the businessman, having worked long and hard to regain his financial success, returned to Vegas and this time he won big. Feeling pretty good about himself, he went out to the front of the casino to get a cab ride back to the airport. Well, who should he see out there, at the end of a long line of cabs, but his old buddy who had refused to give him a ride when he was down on his luck. The businessman thought for a moment about how he could make the guy pay for his lack of charity, and he hit on a plan. The businessman got in the first cab in the line. How much for a ride to the airport? He asked. $15, came the reply. And how much for you to give me a blowjob on the way? What? Get the hell out of my cab. The businessman got into the back of each cab in the long line and asked the same questions, with the same result. When he got to his old friend at the back of the line, he got in and asked, "How much for a ride to the airport?" The cabbie replied, $15. The businessman said, "Okay," and off they went. Then, as they drove slowly past the long line of cabs, the businessman gave a big smile and thumbs up sign to each of the other drivers. Black humor jokes. It's a slow day in heaven, so Street Peter decides to show a new guy around. Street Peter shows him all of the sights, the golf course, library, observation deck, cafeteria and a huge room full of clocks. "What's up with those clocks, Peter?" "Everyone on Earth has a clock that shows how much time he has left. When a clock runs out of time, the person dies and comes to the gates to be judged." The guy notices that some of the clocks are going faster than others. Street Peter tells him that every time a living person tells a lie, it speeds up his clock. The guy notices one clock in the center of the ceiling with both hands whirling around at an unbelievable rate. "What's the story with that clock?" "Oh, that." Street Peter replies, "That's George W. Bush's clock. We decided to use it as a fan." Dirty jokes. Chuck Norris once wrestled a 30-foot snake, and then he realized he was just masturbating. Little Johnny jokes. Little Johnny was in class and the teacher announced that they were going to try something different to help everyone get to know each other a little better, and to help with their spelling. She explained, "I want you to stand up and give us the occupation of your father, spell it, and say one thing he would give us all if he was here today." The first student raised her hand to volunteer. "Marcy," the teacher said. "You may go first." Marcy replied, "My father is a banker. Banker, and if he was here today, he would give us all a shiny new penny." The teacher said, "Very nice, Marcy, who wants to go next?" Kevin stood up and announced, "My father is a baker. Baker, and if he was here today, he would give us all a freshly baked cookie." "Very good," the teacher told Kevin. Jeff was next, and he said, "My father is an accountant." No wait, ACK, no. Before he could attempt to spell it once more, the teacher cut him off and told him to sit back down and to think about it for a while. When he thought he knew how to spell it, he could stand back up and try again. Little Johnny raised his hand in excitement, hoping to be acknowledged by the teacher. The teacher called on Little Johnny to go next. Johnny said, "My father is a bookie. Bookie. And if he was here today, he would give us all 21 odds Jeff will never be able to spell accountant." Alcohol jokes. 3 men were drunk and they stopped a taxi. The taxi driver figured that they were not in their minds, so he just switched on the engine and switched it off and told them, "We have arrived." The first man gave him money. The second one thanked the taxi driver. The third one slapped him, the taxi driver. The taxi driver was stunned because he was hoping that none of them had realized that the car didn't move an inch, but he faked surprise and asked the third man, "What was that for?" The drunken man replied, "Control your speed next time. You nearly killed us."